Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Folks, it's getting tighter and tighter in the Elite League. We now know one of the finalists in the Challenge Cup, and the playoffs, well, they're just around the corner. We got lots to get through tonight. Here's what we've got coming up. The Sheffield Steelers lose 2 crucial games and drop down the table. It's a 4-point weekend in Kirkcaldy for the Five Flyers. And as I said earlier, we have our first finalist in the Challenge Cup, and it's a familiar face. Oh yes, the Nottingham Panthers have made it through again to their 4th final in a row. More on that a little bit later. You'll see I'm joined by Sylvain Cloutier, the head coach of the Hull Stringrays, and Cloots, we've been saying it for weeks and weeks, tight, but your conference more than anything shows just 1 point between all 5 of you. Doesn't get tighter than that, does it?
No, it's extremely tight, and it's been all season. I mean, like we said earlier on in the season, anyone in our conference can win our conference. So right now, I think there's a point behind the 5 of us, and if we can get off to a good start this weekend and have a good weekend, you never know, we could end up winning our conference. Crazy
thing is as well, here we are mid-late February now, and there's still something to play for every one of the 10 teams, again showing the worth of the conference system.
Yeah, it's worked really well. I mean, it's so competitive. Obviously, the 4 Scottish teams, they play each other, and it's so close. It's good for their rivalry, and it gives the Hull Stingrays a chance to win hockey games every night at home. When we have our home games, we had great home form all season playing in our conference, and it's paid off. Now we're not far off from being top in our conference.
We've all been doing the maths, haven't we? Who's going to make it? Who's not going to make it? Can a team actually finish bottom yet win their conference and go through? Explain it from your point of view in the Hull Stingrays. What do you have to do to make the playoffs?
Well, there's 2 scenarios. Obviously, we could win our conference, but we'd need to win our four games that we have left in our conference. Also, we'd need the teams in our conference to win their home games. I think that way, if you do the math, I think we would end up 1 point on top, I think, of Braehead. The other ways, we're 3 points behind Braehead with a game in hand for the final 8 spot in the league. So you could go either way. I guess right now, in the next four weeks, it's whoever's going to be hot and whoever's going to want it more is going to make the playoffs.
Okay, more from Sylvain Cloutier on the Hull Stingrays and the Hull Elite League a little bit later on. Now, last weekend, both the Coventry Blaze and the Sheffield Steelers had 3 games in 3 nights, starting on Friday. Let's start off with Paul Thompson's Blaze team. They were up in Glasgow, taking on the Braehead clan. How did they do, Chris?
This game had a bit of everything, so sit back over the next couple of minutes and enjoy. A scuffle in front of the net turned into something more. You've got Phillips of the Clan and Cameron of the Coventry Blaze. They look like they want to go. The linesman won't let them at first, but they get no option, and they start to trade blows. First of all, Cameron coming over the top with some rights. He gets the better of that fight, and the linesmen really have to step in between to make sure the 2 of them are broken up. Initially, it seemed to benefit the Braehead clan. The first goal of the night set up by Galbraith for Shepka, a 4th of the season for the new boy. 1-0 to the Braehead clan. But at the other end, the Coventry Blaze were getting into their stride. Henrik there with the tip, an 8th goal of the season. We're level at 12:51. But then the momentum really turned in the favour of the Braehead clan. First of all, Goldie and Farmer, they work this one. The play goes down the left-hand side, and stepping into the slot, Phillips, inspired by his fight, gets his first goal of the season. 2-1 to the Braehead clan. And the period still had another 1 minute and 18 seconds to go when Galbraith and Kristanovic work it. Great skills from Galbraith, and Shepka, a 5th goal of the season. It's now 3-1 and that was the lead at the end of the first period. But Coventry came back into the game. They came roaring back. First of all, 1:50 into the second period, jumping into the play from the blue line. Egner, a third of the season. That makes it 3-2. But before Coventry could mount a fight back, Bray had scored once more. Shepke completing his hat-trick at 25-29, 4-2. And surely Bray had thought they were on the way to victory. But the Coventry Blaze battled, they persevered, and first of all in the slot was Brad Lee, 23rd of the season. That makes it a one-goal game. Braehead coming forward, but the puck is dispossessed, and Guthrie, 2-on-1 break, sets up Campbell, a third of the season. The game is level. Braehead fans seem furious. Now, before we went to overtime, there was another battle in front of the net. This time going for it are Smith and Farmer. Farmer gets the early punches in, and then Smith goes there with his right. But then Farmer comes back with some big ones over the top. And then Smith and Farmer just exchange them. But Farmer certainly getting the better punches in and the better connecting ones. And then he gets the takedown. Great fight from Farmer. That then 4-all at the end of 60 minutes. And now we go to overtime. Who's going to get that extra point? Now watch 15. Griffin, he was just in your shot there. Drives towards the net. A move on the netminder, and he scores the game-winning goal. He is thrilled. Braehead 4, Coventry 5.
That was some finish, wasn't it, by Griffin?
Oh, it was great hands there. A great move by him.
In a building where Jade Galbraith plies his trade, he finishes. Jade would have been happy with that one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it was a really nice move by Griff there. It's nice to see a young kid get the game winner there.
Yeah, he's played well. He's played back on D most of the year. Tomo's played him up front as well. I don't think they can find the right position for him yet, but he skates so well. That's his key, and you can see he just jumps into the hole there.
Yeah, he's a great skater. He competes every night. Every time we played against him, he's been strong defensively when he's been on defense, and he comes to play, and that's what you want on your team. You want those type of guys that come and compete, and tonight he got rewarded.
More congratulations as well, Robert Farmer. After all those years, he's won a fight. He's the most game kid in the world, isn't he? And he takes Smith down. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, it was nice to see Farmer win one there.
Shepke, new signing for the Bray clan. Let's take a quick look at him. Scores a hat-trick, and if you like, Shepke's arrival's taken some of the pressure off, Goldie and Kristanovic and Galbraith. Scores a nice one there.
Yeah, I mean, for the past few games playing against Shepke there, he's a great skater. He's skilled, he's got great hands. Right there you can see the two Coventry players collided, and he ended up being alone, and Hershey had no chance. And again there, he used his speed, went wide, and quick release, and beat Hershey.
Bad giveaway by Hansen there, sets up Derek Campbell.
Yeah, as a coach, that drives you crazy, those turnovers, and then, Soupy's not going to miss from there.
Let's just watch this again.
Yeah. Beautiful goal, turns around, backhand over the goalie.
Can watch that all day, couldn't you?
Yeah, great composure by the young fella.
Yeah, important that Coventry got off to a good start. It was going to be a difficult weekend for them, 3 games in Scotland.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough going up to Scotland this season. Like I said, the league's improved so much. All the teams have picked it up a notch, and to go up there and steal points, obviously, it was a nice win by Coventry Friday night in Braehead, but going to Edinburgh and Fife the next night, it does get tough.
It does indeed. Right, time for more hockey action now. As I said, 2 teams were playing 3 games in 3 nights, the other being the Sheffield Steelers, and this, well, in all intents and purposes, was the game of the weekend. Sheffield were at the NIC in Nottingham. Simple mathematics. Sheffield had to win, otherwise, good night Vienna. Let's see if they did it.
This was the big one, and it felt like all of Nottingham and Sheffield had waited all week for this game. Indeed, over 7,000 packed into the NIC. A 2-0 break by the Steelers saw former Panther Danny Myers score the first goal of the game 45 seconds into period 2. Nottingham had a 4-minute power play. That came to an end, but just as it came to an end, Bruce Graham scored his 30th goal of the season. Ling and Fox neatly setting that one up. And Nottingham are level just past the midway point in the game. Ling and Fox combine once more, this time on the power play, neatly worked. Lovely precise finish from Gadaban, a 20th of the season for him. Now, if you thought that goal was good, cast your eyes over this one. Surely a goal of the season contender for Nottingham's Jordan Fox. Picks it up on the red line and then he goes past the Steelers defence, dingle dangles, beats the netminder. What a terrific goal to put Nottingham 3-1 up. And then 22 seconds later, Nottingham celebrated once more. Wilson and Lakovic setting up Benedict for his 14th goal of the season, and Nottingham very much in control. Steelers got a goal back on the power play. Michel and Sarridge, both of them getting the assist. On the doorstep was Gertsen, but it got no better than that for the Steelers. What a good win for Nottingham. Panthers 4, Steelers 2.
And then there was two. The Nottingham Panthers and the Belfast Giants, I think, now will battle it out for that Elite League Championship. It was a game Sheffield had to win. They didn't win it, and it now looks all but over for them. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not over till it's over,
Sure.
but I mean, it was a must-win game, and Nottingham found a way to come back. Obviously, Sheffield came out hard in the first period, had that lead, and but Nottingham is so deep, and they roll their three lines, and all their guys have been producing for them this season. They've been so consistent, and right now, really, they are the team that deserves to win the league.
We sat in the other office a few moments ago, we watched the highlights, and after every goal that Nottingham score, you go, oh, nice goal, very good goal. And they just can create, can't they? They're magical in front of net.
Yeah, they move the puck so well. I mean, they just move it around. You see their power play, they just move the puck side to side, back to the middle, and then you got a guy like Fox there, you give him time and space like that to get his speed, and he just skates through the team, and like Chris said there, that could be the goal of the season.
It could. We'll see it again in a moment. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Sheffield had the better of the first period, and then at the start of the second, they took the lead. Danny Myers?
Yeah, it was like Danny Myers on a breakaway. Great shot there. He beats Killer there with that shot. And then here you see Nottingham, the movement they have on their power play. You leave Graham up front, he is going to score that goal, and here's the goal of the season.
You feel sorry for young Griffin in Coventry, don't you? Because that goal kind of elapses his.
Yeah, there's been a lot of nice goals this weekend, and there Benedict. I mean, you can't leave those guys alone and give them time. I mean, the players on Nottingham, their three lines, if you give those guys any space, any time, they will put the puck in the back of the net.
I think for the last couple of weeks I've brought up three names: Francis, Benedict and Fox. Three guys who have changed the whole structure of the Nottingham Panthers. They're three guys who will go into dirty areas, gritty areas, and they know what it takes to win, and on a big night they come to the front again. Yeah,
they do. All their players have stepped up, and then you got Graham too, who's who's scoring a lot of goals for them. And no, I mean, you look at their team, there's not too many weaknesses there.
None at all. Right, time now for a break. When we come back, we'll head over to the Odyssey Arena, where it was Giants versus the Steelers. You don't want to miss that one either. Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. More action straight away for you. Odyssey Arena in Belfast. The Giants, second place, taking on the Steelers, third place. Sheffield, remember, went down to Nottingham on Friday night. Would they have the sulks, or would they be able to bounce back? Chris Ellis will tell us.
The first goal of the night went to Belfast, Garside at 9:32, his sixth of the season. Things improved even more for the Giants in the second period. First of all, Keith getting a ninth goal just 43 seconds in. Lloyd and Garside getting the assist, that for the only goal of period 2. In the third session, Lloyd scored a 14th of the season, assisted by Peacock and Sandrock on the power play at 49-17. There was one goal on the night for the Steelers, Le Guy and Myers getting the assist. The points went the way of the Giants. Belfast 3, Sheffield 1.
A good win then for the Belfast Giants. They keep right on the tails of the Nottingham Panthers in the Elite League title. And I guess really for Doug Christensen, it's just win out. That's the only message for his side.
Yeah, they got to keep winning and keep pace for Nottingham. Obviously, disappointing loss for Finner and his team, but Dougie had a must-win. They needed to win that game to keep up with Nottingham, and I think we're going to be saying that a lot now. Must-win games every weekend. I
think we've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's just been so tight, hasn't it? And it was only a matter of time for one, perhaps just to get a little bit dropped off. 2 huge games coming up as well between the Giants and the Panthers. You'd have to assume that Doug would have to win both of those.
Yeah, I think Belfast has got to win both games, and I don't see Nottingham losing any points the rest of the way. I'd be
you
surprised.
You just don't see a weakness in that team, do you? They are just so good, top, middle and bottom.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been in the Elite League, I think I can honestly say that's probably one of the best teams I've seen in this league, and I know Corey's done a great job.
Okay, let's get into the analysis of this game between Sheffield and Belfast. Talk about going to the net. The Belfast Giants certainly did that for the first goal.
Yeah, Keith went in there, and there was a bit of a scramble. They couldn't find a loose puck, and there it was, landed on his stick. And here, a great pass by Sandrock, and Lloyd breaks in, and short side, nice goal again.
Everybody talks about Keith, don't they, in Belfast as being like this great leader, this great character, the guy who, jump on my back, boys, I'm going to carry you through. A little bit like Paul Thompson talked about you when you were in Coventry. They forget Lloyd, but Lloyd kind of just keeps plugging away, draws more penalties than any guy, mucks in, scores goals. He's an important cog in the Giants' wheel, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean, Lloyd's one of those guys that you don't like to play against. You know, he comes to play every night. Just like Keith, obviously Keith leads on the ice. And he does a great job the way he plays the game. But Lloyd's the one in the background that comes, and if you don't keep an eye on him, he can put the puck in the net. He's physical. He gets involved, and that's another leader on their team.
It is indeed. Right, more hockey action. Braehead's second game in 2 nights, both at home. Friday was against Coventry. You've already seen that one. Let's see how they got on against the Nottingham Panthers. This was a must-win game, again, for the Panthers.
After Panthers won on Friday against the Steelers in the top-of-the-table clash, would it be a case of after the Lord Mayor's show, or would they win again and keep their lead at the top of the table? Graham set this one up, rebounds in front, and Benedict scores his 15th goal of the season. Clan went into this game with 1 win in 7. They've been struggling for form. They were 2 down in the second period on the power play. Clark and Lakovic setting up Ling in the left circle. A 27th goal of the season for David Ling. Still, things went Panthers' way in period 2. David Clark from left side, the one-timer, 28-33 gone. It was Braehead 0, Nottingham 3, and they scored again with 54 seconds left in the period. Pass there from Ling, and Graham, it bobbled into the net, but it was 4-0 Nottingham, and Graham had scored his 31st goal of the season. That soon became 32 for the season, a goal from the right circle across the netminder. He'll probably want that one back. On his way to a shutout though at the other end was Craig Kowalski, a 22-shot shutout, his 7th of the season. Now we see a bit of action in front of the net. Lepine having a word with Watt. Pair of them just exchanging words, and then in comes the new boy there, Sescon, going to grips there, getting to grips there with Guy Lepine. The pair of them really tussle for a while, and the final score, Braehead 0, Nottingham 5.
Comfortable victory then for Corey Nelson and his side, and they never looked in any kind of trouble, did they?
No, I think they controlled the game from the start there, and like we said earlier, the goals they score, they moved the puck so well, and Graham tonight in that game stepped it up and got 2 for them. So, they're getting it from all over the place.
We'll see the Graham goals in a few moments' time. Just on that last incident there where we saw the little bit of a scuffle, surely that incident doesn't develop if the penalty for running the goal is just called straight off the bat and he's carted off to the box, does it? It seems a simple one.
Yeah, I mean, he bangs in right into the goal. He runs him over, basically, and I think if you call the penalty right away, none of that scrum happens after Braehead will go on the power play, and then the fighting doesn't happen. None of that happens, and Lepine goes in the penalty box.
You can see how players get frustrated at things like that, can't you?
Well, you can see it right there. That's a perfect example. I mean, there's a guy that runs over your keeper. Obviously, you're going to go in and step in and want to defend him. But if the referee's got his arm up, you're going to think twice, and you'll want to take the power play and make him pay that way.
Let's take a look at those 2 goals in from Bruce Graham. He's had a great season. Was it 32? Chris just said he scored.
Yeah, he's right there. It's a great feed by Linger, and the puck bounces in from there. Here he uses his speed, throws it on net. It just goes in, and the puck's sticking to his stick, and it's going in for him right now.
He's just in that rich vein of form at the moment, and he's scoring big goals in pretty much every game he plays.
Yeah, and that's what you need from your big guys. You need your key guys on your team to score big goals for you. And tonight, like we said, for Nottingham, tonight was Graham that stepped up to the plate.
It was. Right. There was another game played on Saturday up in Murrayfield between the Edinburgh Capitals and the Coventry Blaze. It was the second game of 3-3 for Coventry. We've explained that to you already. Haven't got the highlights, but here are the graphics of that one. A stunning victory as well for the Caps. Poultry, Steele, Lineweber again. What a signing he has been. Zenberg, getting the goals for the Caps. 2, Griffin getting his second in 2 nights. Good crowd as well, over 800 in Murrayfield. That line Webber seems to score every week. What a pick-up he has been mid-season.
Yeah, he's been a great pickup for Edinburgh. We got to face him his first game. He came over and I think he had 3 goals and 3 assists his first night against us. He skates extremely well. He's a smart player, and on that big ice up in Edinburgh, you can see he's been doing great up there.
I saw that score and then I got a phone call. See Paul Thompson's name, I'm thinking I'm in for an ear bending here after he's lost 6-2 in Murrayfield, and he just says to me, that's as good a team as we've played all year. They played tremendously well. And Edinburgh are just coming together just at the right time. They're a team not only that could make the final 8, they're a team that might even end up at the end of season playoffs.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they're playing extremely well at home. Their group's coming together. They've added a few new faces during the season, and now they're starting to gel. Their keeper's making some nice saves for them, and they're tough to beat up at Murrayfield. So they keep going. Yeah, right now they're the best team in our conference, and right now you could see them at the Final Four if they keep going that way.
The Edinburgh Capitals at the Final Four. Who'd have thought it? Let's take a break now. When we come back, the Five Flyers had 2 home games of their own against the Hull Stingrays. Was their first one, and we'll see how Cloutier's side got on when we come back after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. 2 home games in 2 nights then up at Kirkcaldy for the Five Flyers. These were the first 2 games as well that Fife had been at their full complement of 11 imports. Bad timing for Sylvain Cloutier and his team then as they trotted into town for another must-win game in the Gardner Conference.
The start of 2 games in 2 days at home for the Five Flyers. And what sort of start to the weekend would they have? Well, basement club Hull Stringrays, desperate for points in their push for the playoffs. They arrived in Fife, really struggling for form. And the visitors fell behind. First period goal there for Chaumont, a 27th of the season. That was a 1-0 lead in the first period. But the Stingrays came back into the game on the power play. Silverthorne and Andre getting the assist. It was worked well. It was patient work on the rebound. It was Lovedow with his first goal of the season, tying things up at 1-1. And that was the scoreline at the end of 1 period. To period 2, and the Five Flyers took some control in this session. They outshot the visitors 14-9. First of all, Hogg on the doorstep, a 26th goal of the season. So they began to take advantage, but it wasn't really showing on the scoreboard because back came the Stingrays. Despite being outshot, they worked one of the goals of the game. Silverthorne and Squires getting the assist for Tendler's 38th goal of the season. It was more one-way traffic in period 3, 10 shots to 4 in favour of the Five Flyers. And this time, Turnbull and Keller get the assists. It's a scrappy goal again, but they won't mind. Hogg with his 27th goal of the season, and he scores a second of the night. So that's 3-2. And then the Flyers pushing forward for one more, maybe the one that would make the game safe. They work it well in the offensive zone. It's perfectly worked. And then off the netminder is Carreview from behind the net to score the insurance goal. Five Flyers 4, Hull Stingrays 2.
They are a different team at home, aren't they, the Five Flyers? They're a competitive team on the road, but when you go into that building in Kirkcaldy, whether it's the building, whether it's just a lack of travel, they are just a completely different team.
Yeah, they come at you, they skate, they play physical, and they want it in that building.
Play with emotion, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, their crowd gets behind them. Their crowd's loud there. It's a great atmosphere to go up there and play. It's a great old barn. I like going up there and playing there. It's a lot of fun, and obviously it wasn't that much fun that night, losing the game there.
One stat that I'll just remind you of, I'm sure you won't need reminding of it, that in conference play this year you've won once on the road. Has that been your problem, a little bit like that game we've just seen there?
Yeah, it has. I mean, we're 1 point away from top spot in our conference. We've won once on the road all season. We've lost 6 shootout matches in our conference. If you look at that, that's really the story of our season right there. If we can win 2 more games on the road and win 2 of those shootouts, we'd be laughing. We'd be in first place by ourselves in the conference. But sometimes that's the way it goes, and made life a lot harder, and now we've got to keep plugging away.
Okay, sorry to have to remind you of this, but let's see some highlights. Hogg's 2 goals, and he's been a good acquisition for them as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's been a good player all season for them. He's been consistent, and you know, right here we made a mistake in our zone, and we couldn't get it out, and they made us pay here.
And then you got Tendler as well, who's been the saving grace, and just scores, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy's been scoring all season. I mean, he's on pace to get over 40 goals again, and he's been the one positive sign we've had all season, and you know, we want him to stay in Hull and keep scoring for us.
Well, I'm sure if Jeremy Tendler does stay in Hull, and I think the likelihood is, all good word coming out of Hull is that Tendler is going to stay, isn't it?
Yeah. Jeremy's going to stay with us. He's a loyal guy. He's been loyal to me, but he's been loyal to Hull fans, and he's enjoying his time there. And obviously now we gotta try to put a team together where we can win a lot of games.
He would have had some sniffs, wouldn't he? I would have thought he would have been tickled by a couple of clubs just inquiring.
Yeah, I think for sure there'd be teams that'd be interested in him. I mean, he's proven it every season now, since his first year in the Elite League, that he can put the puck in the net. And you know, when I traded for him in Corpus Christi, I knew he could score goals. So I'm glad he's on board with me.
Okay. Off to Cardiff we go, where the Belfast Giants were in town. Remember, Belfast beat Sheffield on Saturday. Can they make it a 4-point weekend? Chris will tell us.
Things have been quite fiery between these two sides in recent games, and it was an explosive start to this game. But on the scoreboard, only 49 seconds gone in the big blue tent, and Beerbrow on the rebound. Look how much it means to him. 1-0 Cardiff in front of their own fans. And then less than a minute later, there was 1:45 on the clock. Youngster Josh Batch, who last week signed a new contract with the club for next season, he started that move off, coming into the offensive zone, and with assists going to Adams and Davis, Batch finishes it off. It's 2-0 Cardiff, and the Belfast Giants have some making up to do, and they're going to have to come from behind. But they struck back pretty quickly, which was key for them. Lloyd on the rebound, making it a 1-goal game. That was the scoring at the end of the first period. So to period 2, and this was a terrific goal, short-handed. What a pickup Langlaise has been for the Belfast Giants. That is a great goal. He starts well into the offensive zone, save is made, and he gets to the rebound. That's at 32-11. If you thought this was good, 3 minutes later, this next one's even better. What a bullet from Sandrock, a 13th goal of the season. The 2-0 deficit is turned around into a 3-2 advantage at the end of the second period. To period 3, and the Belfast Giants were looking to turn the screw. That's terrific work from Langlaise again, and Clark gets to that one for 4-2. Langlaise was playing such a part. 1+2 so far in the game. Cardiff came back with a goal at the other end just before the midway point of the period. McRae, a 25th of the season, 1-goal game again. No surprise then, who was to get the crucial insurance goal? Shields goes into the zone, and there on the rebound is Langlaise, his second of the night. Cardiff 3, Belfast 5.
It was a sneaky little signing, Doug, wasn't it? Old Langley. I don't think any of us really knew too much about him when he arrived, but he's arrived in Belfast and just set the Giants alive. He's given them a spark, which they needed.
Yeah, they needed a change. Obviously, they were down there for a little bit with the injuries they've went through there the past few months. So him coming in, he's done a fantastic job. You can see right here in the highlights tonight, the way he skates, and he's so composed on the puck.
If there was a knock on Belfast, where we talk about Nottingham having all that offence, one of the knocks on Belfast was they're a little similar. They have to work really hard for all their goals, and they hadn't got that locksmith, if you like, who could just unpick a lock. They seem to have found one come the business end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Belfast, they compete, they work hard. All their forwards come at you pretty hard. They're a physical team, and obviously Langley is going to bring that skill from the back and bring the puck up front, and he's done a fantastic job for them since he's got there. Let's
stop talking about him. Let's start looking at him now. We've got 2 goals and probably the play of the weekend as well.
Yeah, right here he uses the defenseman as a screen, and he gets his own rebound and scores a nice goal. And
Same again?
No, yeah, he just goes to the net and he tucks it in again.
We talked about Griffin's goal, Foxy's goal, but what about this for a play?
Yeah, I mean, he took the puck on the blue line, dragged it across, kept his composure, went through the team and made a nice pass. And, you know, he could have easily got that pass back and probably buried another goal there.
And I'm not being rude, but those kind of players, the smaller, super skilled guys, Cardiff normally isn't the place they enjoy going to play, and yet he turns up. So he's obviously got a bit of character and something good inside the ticker.
Yeah, I mean, Cardiff, it's a tough place to play. Small ice surface, it's usually physical in there, and sometimes the small guys do disappear in that arena. But you can see there, he was, by the highlights I've just seen, he was dominating that game.
OK, Langley, keep your eyes on him, folks. Looks to be a star of the league. Back up to Kirkcaldy now. The Five Flyers taking on the Coventry Blaze. It was their third game in 3 nights.
This was a second home game in as many nights for Fife and a third game in as many nights on the road for Coventry. Their Scotland tour continued, their 200 plus fans enjoying themselves, despite the fact not all the results were going Coventry's way. First goal of the night went to Keller, a 7th goal of the season, so the home side were ahead in their own barn. And then this was a terrific goal, well worked from one end of the ice to the other, and it was Caribou, an 8th of the season. Dolan and new boy Turnbull setting up this one. So 2-0 to the home side, and they were in control in the first period. But all the goals were coming at one end. This was a terrific move there from Guthrie, a 16th goal of the season on a weekend when there were some great goals. That was another one. Shoot and Hirsch with the initial assist. So 2-1 at 1:15 in period 2. And then, as the period became about halfway through, just past the halfway point, a scrappy goal, but it won't matter to Coventry. A delayed penalty, a goal there for Brad Leib. So it was 2-2 at the end of 2 periods. Into the third period, and I said the goals were all coming at one end. A giveaway here by Coventry. They had control of the puck, but Shoot gives the puck away, and Fife jump onto the play. The assist in this play going to Turnbull and Hogg. They keep possession for a good while until player coach Todd Dutium wins the game. 5-3, Coventry 2.
A good win then for the Five Flyers, a valuable 2 points in their conference. And as we said when they played you the night before, they're a different team at home and don't really compete at the Sky Dome against Coventry, but at home, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough building to go in, and obviously Fife was ready. They needed the points, they wanted the points, and we know Coventry were missing a player that night, but Stewie and Dutes got those guys going in the right direction there at home.
Yeah, if ever a club has learned, it's the Five Flyers, isn't it? You can see that progression from what happened last year to what happened at the start of this year. The one thing I just feel is that if only they'd have signed 11 imports from September, they wouldn't be battling now to win the Gardner Conference. They'd probably have it won by now, and hopefully the Five Flyers will continue that learning process and start next September with their full complement.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have been... they had the full 11, like you said, they probably would be on top of the conference right now, because the new guy they just picked up, Pudge, is a great pickup for them, and with their goaltender being back now, back from being injured, so they're fresh at the right time and making a run for it right now.
You can't help but like Fife, can you? Because the whole atmosphere around that place.
Yeah, I mean, just going up there to Fife, the arena, their fans, it's a great place to go play.
It is indeed. And if you've never been, you should try it. Right, time for a break. When we come back, we'll head up to another Scottish rink, Dundee. They were taking on the Sheffield Steelers. I would imagine fairly hot reception for John DeCaro that night.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Straight up to Dundee, where the Stars were taking on the Sheffield Steelers, their third game in as many nights. It was John DeCaro Appreciation Night in Dundee. They love Big John up there.
Sheffield came into this game on the back of 2 big blows in their title battle. Defeats by Nottingham and Belfast in successive nights. And here in Dundee, they fell behind. Former Panther Sammy Ryanen scoring a 23rd goal of the season. On the power play, this one at 7:56. Sheffield thought they'd levelled the game up at 1-1. Referee Cowan on the spot and decided to disallowed that one, explains his reasons there to the Sheffield players. Then a hit on the boards there by Dundee's number 17, Doug Krantz. He gets 2 plus 10 for checking from behind. A couple of Sheffield players just go in and have a word with him and obviously warn him from doing anything similar. Credit to Sheffield because their heads could have dropped with what had gone on in the last 2 days, and of course they were 1 behind. But on the power play, 25-49, Jeff Le Gouy stepping into the doorstep to make it 1-1, and they were back level and they were beginning to turn the game around. A power play as the period was coming to a close. In the left circle, Stevenson, a 7th of the season, 2-1 Sheffield. Into the third period, and this time Sarridge and Stevenson get the assist, 54-03. Le Gouy with the shot, it was deflected. It was the final goal of the night. Dundee 1, Sheffield Steelers 3.
2 points then for the Sheffield Steelers, and the Dundee Stars would have fancied their chances, I feel, going into that game, with Sheffield having all that travel and 2 losses, but not to be.
No, I mean, Sheffield responded really well after losing the 2 games tonight over the weekend. So, yeah, definitely Dundee must have been ready to go and probably wanted to take the 2 points from them, but Finner's boys, they responded well, and you know, Dundee's had great home form all season, so that was a nice win for Sheffield.
More Gardner Conference action for you now. The Braehead Clan, the favourites for the Gardner Conference as we went into the season, had a difficult trip to Hull, Sylvain Cloutier's team. This, another must-win game for the Hull Stingrays.
The Stingrays in desperate need of a victory when Braehead came to town. Indeed, the Clan 1 win in 8 going into this one, so they too needed to find a way to pick up the points. The Clan never cleared the puck and they were made to pay. Terrific goal there in the first period, scored by Silverthorne. A good move on the netminder. So 1-0, and that's short-handed at 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And then the break clear once more from the home side. It went right-hand side and in the slot, Osman, goal number 23 of the year for him. And the Stingrays were leading by 2-0. It rained goals in the first part of the first period because 2 minutes later on the doorstep, Goldie scoring a 27th goal of the season. That was 2-1. Bit of anger in front of the net there that was quickly calmed down, and straight from the face-off, the Clan concede once more. I think it shows their confidence is low at the moment. It was 11 seconds later on the rebound. Tendler, he's touching 40 goals now. That was 39th of the season, and that made it 3-1. It got feisty as well in the second period. Seskon here with hand. The two of them going toe-to-toe. 2 big and 2 tough men. Happy to drop the gloves and exchange punches between the two of them there. Then it was broken up by the linesman. There was still time for 1 more goal in the game, but it came too late for the Braehead Clan. Krestanovic on the power play, scoring his 14th goal of the season. Final score though, Hull 3, Braehead 2.
A valuable 2 points. Valuable actually doesn't do that justice, does it? It was a crucial 2 points for you.
Yeah, it was a massive 2 points for us after losing the night before up in Fife. It was a must-win for us to keep our hopes up for the playoffs and our conference, and you know, our big guns stepped up for us. Yeah,
we touched on it before. The disappointing away form means the home form actually has been excellent, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been winning at home in our conference pretty much. That's why we're tied for, or 1 point out of first place in our conference because of our home record. So
vital big goals. Let's take a look at them here on the screen. Talk us through these if you would.
Cloutier behind the net found Osman there, and
he's all right, Cloutier, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not bad. And right here, Curtis Dooley does all the hard work and gives it to Jeremy Tendler for the open net, and Tens is not going to miss from there.
No. You talked about Tendler coming back, you know, for next season. You've kind of now really got to build that team around him because he's your talisman, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and you know, he's been loyal to us, and our fans have been loyal to us too. So now we need to make that step next season. We feel we can go for a conference. We've seen what we can do this year, and now my job now is to go out and find players that can play with 10s and build this group and make sure we do take a step forward next season.
Okay, more from Sylvain in a moment. Let's just leave league action for a second and concentrate on the Challenge Cup. Second leg of the Challenge Cup semi-final between the Belfast Giants and the Nottingham Panthers. You'll recall Nottingham led 5-1 after the first leg at the NIC. It was always going to be an uphill battle for the Belfast Giants. Let's see how they got on.
This game may be a chance for one of the two sides to set a marker ahead of the looming Big Two league games in as many nights in March. The first goal of the night went to the home side, Matt Toe scoring it. So they were behind by 3 on aggregate after Nottingham won the first leg 5-1. But Nottingham came back by the end of the first period. Kelsey Wilson scoring. So 1-1 on the night. And things look good for Nottingham. But back came the Giants once more. Colin Shields scored to make it 2-1. So the Belfast Giants were smiling again. And then Nottingham came back. It was really topsy-turvy. Belfast got in front, and then the visitors came back again. This time it was Francis scoring to make it 2-2. And he was delighted. Then back came the Giants for another time to take the lead, the third lead they'd had in the game. It was only 12 seconds after Nottingham had levelled the game. So what a turnaround the game was having, one way then the other, but Mason scoring to make the game 3-2. So Nottingham needed to come back once more to level the game, and they had a power play, well worked by them. That one takes a deflection, but Fox scores to make it 3-3. So Nottingham are level. Did Belfast take the lead for a fourth time? No, it was Nottingham. Oh, great skills there from Gallivan to score the game-winning goal. And Nottingham win the cup tie 9-4 to reach the final.
They'll be calling the Challenge Cup the Nottingham Panthers Challenge Cup, won't they? They make the final again. Remember, the Panthers have won the Challenge Cup for the last 3 seasons. They love that competition.
Yeah, every year they're in the finals, and again, it was going to be tough for Belfast to come back being down like that in a game, especially playing Nottingham. The offense they have, they're going to score goals, and Nottingham's there again.
Who will they face in the final, Braehead or Sheffield? Where's your money?
My pick's on Sheffield. I mean, I like the team Finners put together, and the last time we played against them with Hull, it was like men playing against boys. So if they play that way, I think they'll walk through that and go right to the finals. Right,
well, you've seen all the highlights, you've seen all the action and all the goals from around the league last weekend. Let's take a recap then of the scores, starting last Friday. And you'll see those 2 games we showed earlier. The Nottingham Panthers 4-2 over the Steelers, and the Coventry Blaze winning in overtime with that Griffin stunner 5-4 against the Braehead Clan. Belfast 3-1 over the Steelers on Saturday. The Flyers doubling 4-2 the Hull Stingrays. Edinburgh Capital 6-2 over the Coventry Blaze on Saturday night. Braehead going down 5-0 at home to the Panthers. On Sunday, Dundee going down at home 3-1 to the Steelers. The Flyers, a 4-point weekend with a 3-2 victory over Coventry. And the Hull Stingrays, a vital 2 points, 4-2 over the Braehead Clan. Cardiff going down 5-3 at home to the Giants. And as we've just seen, the Belfast Giants losing 3-4 to the Nottingham Panthers. Nottingham making it through to the Challenge Cup final on a 9-4 aggregate win. Let's see how that affects the tables. We'll start off with the 2 conferences. It's actually quite tight in the Erdart. I know we talk about the Garden all the time, but Belfast and Nottingham, probably whoever wins the league ends up winning that conference.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, they got to play each other a few more times. So, yeah, it's only 2 points, though, so it is tight. It's good. The conference has been great all season.
We always knew that Gardner conference was going to be tight, but nobody expected 1 point between 5 teams, did they?
No, I don't think anyone expected that. Everyone expected Braehead to run away with it at the start of the season, and right now, all 5 teams believe they can win the conference.
Let's throw that all into the mix and see how the Elite League standings. You'll see the 3 teams in white. They have all made it through to the playoffs already. So tight at the top. Nottingham, though, I think clear favourites. A battle for 4th place, and it makes a difference, doesn't it? Because it's your playoff seedings.
Yeah, it is, and right now, with the way the teams, the way they're going to be ranked, and at the end of the season on the table, it's going to make a big difference. So it's going to be a good battle between Coventry and Cardiff. See where they ranked at the end.
Yeah, and then of course down at the bottom, it's basically any 3 from 5.
Yeah, I think whoever gets hot here over the next 2 weekends. Basically is going to run away with that last playoff position here.
And that's a point that Sylvain makes there, and it's a really important one. Whoever gets hot, because come this time of the season, normally some games don't really have any meaning, but every single game has a meaning in the Elite League from now until the end of the season. And that's a great run-in to our schedule for this weekend. And we suggest you take one of these games in. At the Odyssey, the Belfast Giants and the Cardiff Devils, 7 o'clock on Saturday. Braehead at home to the Hull Stingrays. What a cracker that is, up in Glasgow, 7 o'clock. Coventry against the Dundee Stars, Sheffield against the Edinburgh Capitals, and the Five Flyers take on the Nottingham Panthers in Kirkcaldy. On Sunday, Cardiff at home against the Coventry Blaze. Remember, those two teams battling for 4th place right now. Edinburgh taking on the Nottingham Panthers, Hull taking on the Five Flyers. Again, that game carries such importance in the Gardiner Conference, as does the Dundee Stars taking on the Braehead Clan. You'll be able to see all the goals and all the highlights on next week's show, 10 p.m. on Sky Sports 4 next Friday. Just talk us through very, very briefly, do you think you can finish in the bottom two and win your Gardiner Conference?
Yeah, we could end up finishing 9th or 10th
remote, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and win the conference. And
okay. Just going to have to cut you off there to say goodbye. Thanks to Sylvain Cloutier. Guys, take in a game. We'll see you next week.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.